Hello, friends. Welcome. I hope wherever you are today that you're having a calm and peaceful, serene day. I wanted to start off the video today just acknowledging that if you were in the middle of the country here in the United States and you were experiencing horrible storms last night, I hope that with the sun coming, it was a more peaceful day. I know that we're still in for some bad weather in the coming weeks, or in the coming days, so I hope everyone is safe and sound. If you didn't get through last night as well and you're watching this on replay later, please know our prayers are with you if you were affected by all the tornadoes and bad weather. So if you went through that night last night, you may be feeling like this little raccoon this morning and thinking a nap is just what you need. So I just love how this little card turned out. I thought it just is so peaceful. And down here, our sentiment was enjoy some R&R, which can be a great sentiment to send to anyone if just for all kinds of occasions. I thought this would be a good retirement card. It could be a birthday card, or it could just be an encouragement card for somebody that's going through something. So let's take a look at our products. This is a really fun set with some cute raccoons. It's called How You Bin, and the bin is B-I-N, like your little trash bin up here. And we're using this little sleepy guy down here. I'm also going to be using the sentiment, enjoy some R&R. So to pair with my stamp set, I also got the Slimline Meadow die. So the Slimline Meadow die comes with several pieces, and I just keep it in this little envelope to keep all the pieces together. But it creates this pretty meadow scene. You've seen this used a lot. And also in this set comes some clouds and some trees and some bushes and some flowers, so some different things like that. So you can create a whole meadow scene using this die. But what I'm going to use out of it today is the clouds. And I'm going to use this little strip of clouds to cut myself some different greenery to create my trees on my card. So I love it when I can use a die, or really any product, when I can use it in a different way than what it was intended. So these were intended to be clouds, but I think they do a great job at making trees. So to make my little half sun up here, I'm going to be using the next to the smallest of the stitched circle, pierced and that's a tongue twister. Pierced and stitched circles. The next to the smallest one is what I use just to make my half sun there. And then the final product I'll be using, actually it's not the final, I forgot one, is the assorted trees. And I just picked a variety and I went ahead and die cut those in brown to be my trees on my card. And the one thing that I did forget to pull is the grass die back here, and that's one of my favorite pieces. I often just keep it right out here on my desk because I use it that often, but it comes from the Build a Fairy mushroom garden. So that's where our pretty grass. Now we have grass dies in other places as well, but I just really like the edge that it gives you. It's kind of a taller grass than some of the others, and I like that. So, okay, that's what we'll be using. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We are going to start by doing some ink blending. So I've got my mat here, and I know that my grass is going to come about almost 2/3 to almost to half up the top of my paper. So I'm going to start my darkest red, which is going to be the Fired Brick Oxide ink, and I'm going to do that right down here. And then I'll work my way up to the lighter color. So a lot of this red will probably be down below my grass, but that's okay. I just want a little hint of the red. Not sure if it's sun up or sundown. It doesn't really matter there to our scene. I'm going to set this aside real quick, and I have got, the other half of my sun here that I cut off for my first card, and I'm just going to add a little bit of red right down here along the bottom edge give our sun a nice glow. So we'll add some other colors to that as well. Now I'm going to move on to the spiced marmalade. And really any, you could do this in shades of blues or purples, or really just create any kind of sky that you want to create for your cards. I think it's fun to do just all different skies. Sometimes I go with blues, sometimes purples, but for today's and my little forest scene, I thought these yellows were, an orange sky created a nice look for our raccoon. I wanted it to be a happy card for our R&R. I'm just kind of blending those back and forth there to get a nice blend. And again, I'm going to add just a little bit here onto my, this is the orange marmalade. I'm going to add that onto my sun as well. And then for my final color, I'm going to use some fossilized amber. That'll finish out our sky. I'm going to come back with just a little bit of the orange and blend that up into the yellow a little bit. All right. Sun up here, set that aside. The next thing we're going to do, I can set this aside for now, because the next thing we need to do is to put our trees together. So I have gone ahead and I have die cut all of the different pieces here, and I have way more than I need. I'm probably not going to use these tallest trees. I'm going to stick to the smaller ones. Although if you wanted to, we could cut this down and go ahead and use a bigger one, but I think I'm going to stick to the smaller one. So I think I need one that's about this size. And then I'm going to do the 3 smaller ones here. Let's see what else have I got. I've got this medium one right here. So these are the ones I think I'm going to use. Set our grass aside. And so I'm just going to add these clouds here to be my trees. And when this die cuts, let me grab that real quick. It makes 4 different sizes. So it gives you some choices there on putting the big ones and working down, or putting a small one on top. Just, you know, you've got lots of things you can do. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here onto the branches and just start adding my trees, or my leaves, the foliage here. Hopefully my head's not in the camera. Excuse me. Another thing I did like doing was allowing some of the branches to show in between. I thought that was kind of a nice look. There we go. And I think I need another little one. That might be too little. Oops. Okay, if any of the branches stuck out at the top, I just trimmed those off. There we go. All right, so there's one set of our trees. Now on these 2 trees, I'm going to put my darker color green. But don't you just think this cloud die works great for trees. I was so happy when I found this. So we'll just finish out building our trees. Have a couple of tips for you on coloring our raccoon, or at least how I used him on this card. So there's another tree, and we may have to trim that one down some, and I think I'll just put a couple on this one, but a smaller one maybe. Here we go. Way around. Yeah, that'll work. Oops. All right. Cut this branch off a bit. All right, so now that we have our trees and we have our grass and our little raccoon. So I went ahead and colored our raccoon, and you may notice that often when you die cut any kind of dies, you have a white edge. Now this one, if you can cut it out by hand with a white edge as well, but I decided to go ahead and either trim off the white edge or go ahead and cut it out so there is no white. Then I came back with my marker and I just went around the edge to make sure that had a black outline all the way around. And that, in this particular scene, I thought it worked really well to have the white taken off. So that's something you can do to kind of change up the looks of your cards from time to time. I don't always do that, but I did like it on this little guy. So to finish this one off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our sentiment of enjoy some R&R. There it is. And I'm just going to do that in some VersaFine Clair Onyx. I'm going to stamp that right down here in the lower corner. When I glue this down, I'm going to leave that top edge with just a little bit of room so I can tuck some trees in. Go ahead and attach that. So my first tree, I'm going to put about right here. Right there above my sentiment. Before I go any further, I am going to go ahead and glue my sun on here, and I'll trim some of that off because it's a little too big to just putting that right there in the center. Whoops. Right. Oh, isn't that pretty? Looks like a place I want to go. Just a beautiful sunrise or sunset, and it looks like a precious place to take a nap. So I think I'm going to tuck these back behind my grass. If I can get all the, there we go. Just right in here like that. So add my glue here behind there. All right, and now I'm going to add this one about right here. Trying to decide here if I want to overlap them or not. I think raise it up just a bit. All right, so the final thing, we're going to lay in our little raccoon right down here. And another thing that I like to do when you create a little scene like this is you can come back with a marker in a similar color, and we're going to create some shadow. So before I glue down my raccoon, I'm going to take my marker and I'm just going to make like a little, just a little shimmy shake there of the marker. Make it a little bit longer for him. Just pull that out a little bit. And then when I glue him down, I'm going to just glue him right on top of the little darkness that I made so that he has some shadow. I might bring it down just a little more. And then right here next to my trees, I'm just going to do some flicking marks to make some grass. Just like that. And that's such a simple little thing that can just add a little something else to your design. And it's not hard. You don't have to, you know, to be a colorist or anything, you know, have some special talent. It's just a little mark, and it doesn't matter what shape you make it. And we'll just lay our little raccoon right there on top. Got a little piece of paper on my finger. There we go. I've got some extra pieces here that I'm sure I'll do something with soon. Probably save these for Halloween. I'm sure I can do something with that. And there we go. The only thing left to do is to go ahead and glue that onto a card base and choose the sentiment that I want on the inside. And there's our sweet little raccoons napping in the sunshine. I just love how these cards turned out. Thank you so much for being with me today. Hello, Cindy. How are you today? I hope that everyone is having a peaceful day today, and that tonight everyone gets a good night's sleep, and the storms will abate. Hopefully it's just going to be rain. If you are interested in any of these products, they are linked there below the video. If you have not subscribed to the Whimsy Stamps newsletter, you might think about doing that, because we are putting out special videos for you each month, and a really fun Easter treat box was just sent out to our newsletter subscribers. So if you're missing out on that, do go ahead and go to the Whimsy webpage, and you can get yourself signed up to get those extra little projects each month. So, all right, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I look forward to crafting with you again next week. Have a great one, and bye-bye.